Welcome to Stoner Watcher. This is my open spoiler discussion for Star Wars The Bad Batch. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button and click on that bell so you can get notified for future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And wow, man, I just got done watching Bad Batch Episode 9, Bounties Lost on Disney Plus, and I gotta say, this thing was awesome. What a way to kick off the second half of this season for this series. Now, we pick up right where we left off last week, where Cad Bane shoots Hunter and takes Omega. Now, he's en route to go drop her off, and the Bad Batch are still trying to get away from Crosshair. So that's pretty much where we're at when this thing just picks right up at the very beginning of this episode. Now, Hunter is worried about keeping track of where Omega went with Cad Bane, and they realize, they got to get away. If they get shot down by Crosshair, they can't help her, so they end up jumping out of the system. Now, while Cad Bane's en route to where he's going to go drop off Omega, we find out for sure that it was Lama Su that hired him to go get her. Now, because she's apparently the unmodified source of cloning material from Jango Fett to make more clones. Now, I kind of have to question that just a little bit. Now, when they say unmodified, because that's what tech tells us, that she's an unmodified material, is anybody missing the fact that Jango was a man and Omega's a girl? Wouldn't that kind of make her modified just a little bit? I mean, just a little bit? Or am I not understanding this? Because she's supposed to be basically just like how Boba Fett was an unmodified clone, right? But again, Jango was a male and she's a female. So how can you be a clone? Is that how that works? Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I mean, maybe it's just me. But that's why Lama Su wants her so bad, because he wants her to make more clones, and after that he said, kill her, get rid of her, don't want her anymore. But then we find out that Nala C is the one who hired Fennec Shand to keep her away from Cad Bane. Now, I kind of wonder, when we first saw Fennec Shand earlier on a couple episodes ago, was that her mission then? Was she supposed to be protecting Omega from the Bad Batch? Is that what she was supposed to be doing? Or was she supposed to be actually picking up Omega and taking her back to Kamino? What was her mission like in episode 4, right? I was wondering about that after I watched this episode. I'm like, okay, if she was supposed to be to keep her from going back to Kamino, what was her mission from episode 4? Right? Let me just think about that in the comments down below. It kind of makes me wonder. You know what I mean? This was a pretty good episode. Now, we only got to see Crosshair at the beginning, so I kind of wonder, are we going to see him next week? And if we do, is he going to be in some kind of armor suit? Because he's all messed up. It might actually be a while before we see him again. So I don't know. Let me just think about that in the comments down below. I wanted to bring this up last week, but I forgot. Corey Burton returns as Cad Bane. He's the same guy who voiced Cad Bane in the Clone Wars. Also, Seth Green returns to do Todo 360. Now, I don't remember Todo 360 from the Clone Wars, but he was funny as hell in this episode. So I'm hoping we get to see more of him, right? Or if not here, somewhere else. Now, there was a big, huge rumor floating around on whether or not if Cad Bane can actually show up in the Book of Boba Fett, which is supposed to drop on Disney Plus this December. Now, I think that's also a possibility, but when there was quite a few spots in this episode, I was thinking, oh man, if this goes this other way, and so much for that cameo and the Book of Boba. But, however, he does make it out of this episode, so the possibility is still alive. I kind of wonder, if they actually did bring him into live action, who would play that role, right? It kind of makes you wonder who would they get to actually play this role. Could they actually get the guy who does the voice? Could he actually maybe pull that off? Kind of makes you wonder. So, I don't know. Let me just think about that in the comments down below. I think it'd be pretty cool to see Cad Bane in live action, right? I'd be all down to see that, right? I'm kind of wondering what they're actually going to do when it comes to that whole Book of Boba Fett series that's coming, because now it's pushing the Mandalorian season 3 is supposedly might not be out until 2022. And those fight scenes between Fennec Shand and Cad Bane, now these are the parts of this show where I'm going, man, all those rumors about him possibly being on the Book of Boba is all hinged on this part right here. Because that one time where she kicks him off over the railing, and then he had rockets on his boots and stuff like that. That was kind of neat. But I thought, oh my God, I guess so much for that cameo. But he did make it. So Still a possibility. Still is a possibility. But those fight scenes were pretty damn awesome. I know it's animation, but it was still pretty damn cool. Now, Cad Bane takes Omega to the planet of Bora Vio, I believe that's how it was pronounced. Now, on this planet, we find out there's this Camonian cloning facility that's been abandoned. Now, I wonder, why was it abandoned? And it looked like they were actually cloning more Camomonians. I think I pronounced that right. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. It looks like they were, cloning themselves. So I kind of wonder what happened. Why did they have to abandon this facility? And is there more of these facilities like throughout the galaxy where they've got these abandoned cloning facilities? I mean, I wonder if I'll ever find out about that. Now, we find out that Lama Su is the one who hired Cad Bane, and that Nala C is the one who hired Fennec Shand. So do they know they're at odds with each other? Are we going to see like some kind of like maybe a civil war on Kamino between these two? I think that's this whole thing about the different factions in itself is kind of interesting. So I'm kind of waiting to see how that plays out. So I don't know. But in the end, the Bad Batch actually get a hold of Omega again. And like she's all scared of she doesn't really understand why they want her so bad. And they try to explain to her why. And, that's got to be really tough to hear as a kid, right? Now, and Hunter promises her that that's not ever going to happen. So I'm kind of hoping he's actually able to keep that promise. Now, we have, 7 more episodes to go in this season, right? You have to wait and see how that all plays out. It's just getting crazy, man. This show is just so awesome. I know there's a couple of people out there I've seen that don't like this show all that much. I mean, it was some of those like other episodes was a little rough, but now, man, it's like starting to pay off. So I can't wait to see what they do next week. So I don't know, man. Did you watch Clone Wars Episode 9? Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think? Do you think this was a kick-ass way to kick off the second part of the season? I know I do. I can't wait to see what they do next. Now, they did actually mention Boba being another unmodified clone. So I kind of wonder if if he's going to make an appearance in this show to help kind of tie it into the Book of Boba, right? So I don't know. Maybe we'll find out hopefully soon. So let me know what you think in the comments down below.